So, I wanted to talk about something that's been up in the news recently and that I am very passionate about, and let's just say, have some issues with certain aspects of. Recently, I don't know who it was, if it was the governor, Mr. Abbott, or if it was one of the members of the legislature themselves, but recently, some people in the Texas state government, in the legislature, proposed a redrawing of the districts in order to benefit the Republican Party, who is currently predominant in the state. And that's not it. What also happened is that a whole bunch of the Democratic legislatures who represent the Democratic Party fled, got off their asses, and hitched their way to Illinois, if I'm remembering correctly. An order was then given to have them sent back to Texas because shirking your duties when you're elected is illegal. Now, the Texas measure is morally disgusting. It is completely antithetical to a healthy democracy that districts for where voters are going to be located be drawn for the purpose of benefiting or harming any political party. However, it is also disgusting to run away and not stand up for and to not serve the people in the capacity that you were elected to. I agree, redistricting is wrong. So the Democrats, people elected, the Democratic legislators should have stayed in Texas and kept their duty and voted against the measure. The fact that they didn't, the fact that they would rather just prevent the vote from occurring, is in itself anti-democratic and is in itself against the very role that they assumed when they chose to run and when they accepted being elected into their office. I don't even know what to say. It's unacceptable. And we cannot tolerate that kind of behavior from our officials in America. So, besides that, besides the whole Texas issue, what else do I want to talk about here? Well, some Democratic states, namely California and New York, have proposed retaliatory measures by redistricting their own states in support of the ruling party in their states, which is the Democrats, as a way to counter Republican dominance in Texas, which will be occurring by their own redistricting. Recently, the governor of my state, California, Gavin Newsom, has proposed to the legislature that a ballot measure be introduced to the people to vote on as a form of direct democracy that we do have in our state for the purpose of redistricting our state in order to benefit the Democratic Party as opposed to the Republican one. In Newsom's own words, he wants to fight fire with fire. He wants to stoop to the Texas legislature's level and do what they are doing in order to counter them. That is unacceptable, and that sort of behavior has no place in this country. Therefore, I ask that everybody in the United States speak out against this move whenever it's relevant to the conversation, attend protests that are against it, particularly in states where it's being proposed or being discussed or whatever. And if you live in California, Texas, New York, any state that's considering these sorts of things, call your local representatives and tell them that you're not okay with this and ask them to vote against it. I've already called my local state senator and the California State Assembly representative for my district and asked them to vote against it. So I'm practicing what I'm preaching here. Now it's your turn. If we want to preserve democracy and we want to preserve moral integrity, we cannot stand for gerrymandering and we cannot stand for any other anti-democratic actions, regardless of whether you're the first to do it, whether it's in retaliation, doesn't matter. That's an absolute. Thank you.